Stan Jabalisco here to do a little plug for my book, Teach Yourself Electricity and Electronics, 6th edition. And it's not just my book, it was also contributed to by my colleague Simon Monk. Those of you who are fans of McGraw-Hill hobby electronics books doubtless are familiar with Simon Monk's work. He contributed chapters on the Arduino device and also generally on microcontrollers and microcomputers. If I look in the table of contents, they're the first two chapters in part 4 of the book. I believe they're chapters 29 and 30. Microcontrollers and Arduino. And as they pretty well self-descriptive, I am an old school fuddy-duddy when it comes to electronics. And in other words, I grew up in the vacuum tube era and learned how vacuum tube power amplifiers work. I was not afraid to work on high-powered vacuum tube amplifiers, linear amplifiers and things like that in the shop when I worked in Amateur Wholesale Electronics, otherwise known as International Electronic Systems in Miami, Florida. The 2-meter radio was the radio that we imported, called the ASDIT from Japan, and it was a little solid state radio. But one day somebody came in and we had a little shop in there, and somebody came in, wanted a great big old amplifier repaired, and I'm the kind of guy who can do that kind of stuff. The Arduino, on the other hand, there's some kits available that generally, the most common example is how to control a flashing light at various rates of speed, but the components in those things are so small that if you have a carpeted floor, you're out of luck. You drop one of those little resistors, you'll never see it again in your life. That's how small these things have become. This linear amplifier was something you could sink your claws into, and if you didn't watch out, you could get killed too, because the filter capacitors in that thing would hold a 3,500 volt charge for quite a while. You better know what you're doing when you're fixing one of those, but an Arduino won't do that to you. An Arduino won't clobber you with lethal voltage. It'll just, if you drop one of the little pieces of an Arduino kit, say goodbye to it. Say goodbye to it, Stanley. You'll never see it again. But Simon Monk is an expert on microcontrollers and the Arduino, and he has made a very considerable contribution to the 6th edition of Teach Yourself Electricity and Electronics. So, if for no other reason, you might want to consider getting the book just to learn a little bit about those venerable subjects, of which I am so ignorant and Simon Monk is so knowledgeable. We make a good pair. We work together well. I think you'll be able to tell when you purchase the book at your local bricks and mortar bookstore, which of course you'll find if you look for a couple of million years. You could just go to Amazon, but that's the easy way out. Stan Jabalisco signing off, recommending my book along with Simon Monk's book. I keep calling it my book, but Simon Monk has part of it now. Good author. If you've read any of his stuff, you know what I mean. Signing off from the black holes of Dakota Territory, United States of Arduino, Stan Gibilisco, saying so long for now.